Welcome to Nexus Consultancy. We provide professional and strategic services specializing in ISO management systems standards on quality, environmental, occupational health and safety, food safety and many other standards. At Nexus Consultancy, consulting is more than just giving advice. To us, consulting is about building the connection with customers, solving their problems, implementing the change and at last, and helping them to grow. Our company's purpose is simple, which is to empower business and people. We have dedicated 14 years in helping businesses to achieve operational processes improvement and ISO certifications. Having served thousands of companies, Nexus Consultancy has truly built a legacy in helping customers achieve long-term business growth. We have served companies from GLCs, SMEs to big corporations from a wide range of industries. We will work closely with you to create a customized consultation as unique as you are, offering you a truly value-added service which fulfill your business needs and objectives. We believe in what we do, and we would like to do it for you.
Hi everyone, thank you very much for joining us today on our monthly webinar series. With me here is Kelvin, Director of Beyond Wave. Hi Kelvin, how are you?
Hi Darren, I'm good.
I'm very honored to have you with us here in our webinar today. I've always admired you as you have achieved so much at such a young age, leading a technology company that has won multiple awards as well as having an MSc status.
Thank you Darren for having me here today. So it's also part of my honors to be part of this session today. So we will see what I can contribute to the audience. So by the way, what would be the topic that we're going to talk about today, Darren?
Today, our webinar topic will be the 3 simple steps to drive HR transformation in year 2023. We are now in November, so what would be the HR transformation trend in year 2023?
Yeah, I guess I have prepared something on me. Please allow me to share my slides. Can you see my slides?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay, great. So from my side, actually, I've already prepared a simple slides so we can talk about, some of the simple steps to drive the HR transformations. So just now you were asking about, what is the current trend in the human resources, right? Yeah, I mean, from my end, actually, I did quite some market research as well. So, according to the most recent later quarterly remote work reports, revealed that over 20 millions of professional job will not be going back to office after COVID. Therefore, company now had to adapt to the new working model, which is hybrid workplace. Organization need to embrace this change of new workplace, the hybrid workplace, which is a combination of time in office and work from home. Secondly, digitally processes and collaboration too. Transitioning to a hybrid workplace means rewiring company processes that mandatory to provide digital tool for eliminating manual processes such as hard copy papers, driving productivity, recruiting top talents, and giving employees the ability to work from anywhere. Lastly, organizations also requires to digitally transform HR in the new trend. Organizations who working hard to digitally transform HR are the one who will benefit from this remarkable shift in talents to improve employee experience. I think this survey also bring out quite a strong message that according to the current trend, especially after the pandemic, right? So now most of the organization are advised to digital transform their HR because HR is actually the core of every organization, right? So if you are able to digital HR, increase the employee experience, I believe it will also able to boost the overall productivity in the organization as well.
I see. So that will be the benefits of digitally transforming HR, Kelvin. But
Yeah.
how do you see it would be important in HR? How do you see digitalization will be important in HR transformation?
Yeah, I think in terms of the importance of HR digital transformation, right? So I can share one scenarios with you, Darren. So the traditional HR process basically rely on a lot of face-to-face communication, and then we have a lot of file in the cabinets and also paperwork. So HR administrator needs to deal with a lot of paperwork for everything, basically from payroll, attendance system, performance management to candidate management, and also the onboardings. So basically, the benefit of digital transformation in HR includes improved employee experience, simplify business processes, better data-driven decision making, and so much more. So here, improved employee experience means if I want to apply leave now, I don't really need to, submit a physical copy to the HR and then waiting for the approval. But maybe I will have a device with me so that I can raise any leave requests or claim expenses anytime within my fingertips. Subsequently, digital tool helps companies save time and money while improving the communication, driving productivity, recruiting top talent, giving employees the ability to work from anywhere, providing information that can influence business decision. So right now, since we are in a hybrid workplace and then we are working pretty much from homes, right? So most of the time we need to deal with many online meetings. So therefore, if we have a digital tool that allow us, to communicate virtually, so this will definitely driving, the productivity. Lastly, when HR leads the digital transformation movement, involving leadership and engaging every employee along the way, they can ensure that the chosen technology and processes put people and culture first, that change are welcomed by all. So here simply means, right, when we want to digital the HR, of course, we wanted to, communicate with all the stakeholder, with all the team leads, and also involve every single employee, to try to use the feature part by part slowly, and then we will doing the HR processes to be automated in this way. When we put everyone together, then these changes will be welcomed by all. So eventually, once we successfully transform HR, right? According to the survey, it will be able to save up to 37% of HR administrator time. So basically here, I can just give a very simple scenario because I have a lot of clients where their employees have no idea how many leave balance they have. So basically what they do is they need to manually send emails to the HR, and then HR need to attend to all these manual requests after checking and then manually send email back to response. So imagine how much time wasted daily the HR admin to handle this kind of requests. Why don't we just digital leave management so that everyone can get up to date leave information at their fingertips? Yeah, I think this is some of the importance and benefit for HR.
Wow, 37% of HR time. Okay, that
Yeah,
would mean a lot of savings. That would mean a lot of time
correct,
save,
correct.
money save, and I think yeah, as you have rightly said, HR transformation would be crucial. So seeing how important it is, so how can an organization start this transformation journey? How can they start?
Yeah, I mean, back to our topic today, right? So we mentioned about three simple steps. So yeah, so from according to my humble opinion and also experience in the industry, so here I prepared three simple steps so to help organizations to move on to drive HR transformation. So step one is pretty simple: identify most critical processes. So I believe within the company there are so many different HR processes. So basically, you just need to identify whether your critical process now is in payroll, attendance and timesheet, leave application, expenses, or you have a very complicated global HR policy, and then or you're facing challenge in the talent acquisition, new joiner, and also managing the training. So here you just need to identify which one is the most critical, and then we will just start with that only one process. Okay. So yeah,
So after identify, so the step one will be identify the most critical process. So I believe that
yeah,
will be up to the organization to determine or see where is their
correct.
bottlenecks in terms of their own organization process. So after identifying, so what will be next?
Okay. Step two is to adopt the right technology. So I believe now there are so many different variety of HR solution in the market. So it is always recommended the company to at least perform market research, get demo and free trial. So whenever possible, right, adopt cloud-based solution which allow employee to access the application anywhere, any place with any device. Okay. Lastly, choose the solution with intuitive and user-friendly interface to shorten the employee learning times. Because if we have to adopt the technology, but the user interface is looks so complicated and the layout is a bit more traditional, I think people will also get a bit frustrated when using the system. So possible, then we choose a more user-friendly and easy to use, let's say our system. Yeah.
Okay. And the last step would be
Okay, the last step would be right to maintain the momentum. So basically, before we implemented a system or before we digital our process, right? So HR department, we need to prepare and gather all the request data, documentation, policy, and also processes that need to be transformed into the system. Because this will eventually help save a lot of time during the rollout of the transformation. And then remember, do not execute HR digital implementation in a big bang approach. Always take agile approach. Start from one implementation at small scale from one process to another. It is also very important to constantly collect feedback from the stakeholder and make adjustment. So here, why it's important to maintain the momentum is that because I often heard from the company they are facing challenge, especially when they are adopting to a new technology. So basically, most of the time, right, this is because organization at a single time they try to roll out too many feature to their team members, and then when they roll out, it's also lack of training. So people get frustrated when they see the system, there are too many buttons to click, and then when they are facing issue, nobody able to support them on how to use the system. So, however, if we start small, like let's say back to step one just now, if we saying that now I'm facing issue from the payroll, so we just start implement from payroll. So I believe if we start from one single processes and then we roll out to the team, provided with a good training, I believe this will definitely increase the success rates of adopting the technology. Yeah, so Darren, I just wanted to check with you, right? I mean, your team has been in the industry for a very long time, establishing the management system for customer to improve their operation efficiency. So basically, in your opinion, what is the core important function it should be have in HR for a company to be operate more efficiently?
Yeah, in HR to operate more efficiently, we believe that competent, empowered, engaged people at all levels throughout the organization are actually important or essential in an organization processes or to improve the organization's performance. So, what an organization would want to achieve would be competent workers to achieve the desired results. They will want to achieve enhanced personnel development initiatives, creativity. They would also want to enhance the people satisfaction. So, in order to achieve this, okay, two areas that will be commonly looked into would be actually the onboarding, okay, and the trainings. Okay, now let's talk about onboarding. Onboarding or induction or awareness program. It's when you provide awareness, okay, to new employees. Okay, it is important so that new employees can adapt to their roles, the company's direction, the values, and what the company has to offer. It also engages employees, creating workers that are committed to the company's success and help retain new hires by making them feel like a member of the team. I think that's important. So items which would be beneficial to be included in onboarding processes would include company's mission, vision, company values, targets, key performance indicators. What is a person's role, responsibilities, authorities, the job descriptions, okay, the policy and procedures on how works are being carried out. So those will be the things that we suggest or encourage to be put into the onboarding program. Now, as for existing employees, the competency in doing their work, okay, affects the performance and effectiveness of the organization. Also, not forgetting personnel development, okay, aligned to the organization's growth. So it is important to carry out training analysis, identify where trainings are required, which area that the competency would need to be enhanced. Okay, so once the trainings has been identified, then develop a training plan. Develop the training plan and conduct trainings according to what has been planned. Record the trainings conducted, and after the employee attended the training, okay, evaluate the effectiveness of the training conducted. Evaluate the effectiveness of whether it has met the objective of the trainings or not. Now, these are the things that we believe would be important, okay, in the human resources onboarding and trainings. Now, Kelvin, I would like to ask you then, would
Yep.
onboarding competency and trainings, okay, would it be able to be digitalized?
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for sharing so much about the training onboarding. So yeah, I mean, in terms of digital onboarding and training, yeah, definitely this is possible, and it's also pretty much easy to set up in the system as well. So basically, in the system, right, we just need to set up an onboarding templates, either for a dedicated department or for a position. So in each of the templates, right, actually we can define what are the mandatory tasks that need to be performed by by you know uh, by the new employee or by HR administrative or by the IT help desk. So for example, during the new staff onboarding, is always that LT help desk requires to create a new email accounts, right? And then
Hmm,
to issue a new laptops, and then HR
hmm,
admin would need to explain the HR policy so on and so forth. So all these different activities can define in the onboarding in the onboarding templates, which can later be assigned to the new employee. And then once on the first day the employee join, right, we can actually track the end-to-end tasks in the template as simple as ABC. So we can go into the system later, so I can demonstrate a little bit on how we can set up the onboarding and training.
Sure, sure. Yeah, let's look forward to your system demo.
Yep. So Darren, yeah, I mean, right before, I provide a demo on the onboarding and training, but I will just roughly gonna show, what would be the feature available in our HR and payroll modules. Okay, so basically we have the employee life cycle management. So this allow the HR admins, right, to get overview of the employee master data. And then we also have the employee self-service portal. So this allow every single employee that can log in into a portal, they can raise their leave, and then they can submit their claims, they can see their pay slip, so on and so forth. We also have the expenses management, leave management, talent acquisition, employee training, key performance indicator, payroll entry and payout, payroll period and test lab, and many more. So right now, please allow me to go to the system that I can give a short demo on the onboarding and also the training. Okay, so we are now in the system already. Okay, so just now we talk about the onboardings, right? Okay, so here in the employee life cycle management, so as I mentioned just now, the HR admin will get the full overview of the employee within the organization. Okay, so basically here, what we can do is we can set up the onboarding, we can set up the training, we can set up the employee journey. For example, if the employee get promoted, get transferred to a different department or branches, and then if the employee resign, and then we need to set up the employee separation template, as the interview, any daily work, summary log, so on and so forth. So in terms of the onboardings, right? So here we can, at what would be required is we always need to set up the onboarding templates. Okay, so as I mentioned just now, onboarding template, it can be set up on department basis or on a position basis. So as an example, I have set up a template for UI developer. So here I can define, okay, this template will be using by only IT department or only for which position. But these two, it can leave empty as well. Then once you leave empty, it means this template will be used generally across different departments. Okay, and then we need to define what will be the list of activity. For example, the help desk will need to create an email account and then create an employee self-service account, provide access card, laptops. HR will need to introduce a new member to the team, explain company policy, so on and so forth. And then, so since this is on, let's say, the developer, so maybe before the developer start building anything, I will need the developer to go through some of the tests, so I can also define this kind of activity here as well. Okay, so the activity defined here can be either assigned to any dedicated user or it can be assigned to a role. Okay, so here, for example, explain company policy and culture, I assign to a HR manager role. So which means any employee or any user who already in the HR manager role, you will be getting notified as soon as this template is created and assigned to the employee. So then each of everyone will know, okay, so now me, I have to create a new account. Me, I have to, explain the policy to this new staff. Okay, I think here is like pretty simple. So once we have the onboarding template ready, and then now we need to create the employee onboarding. So employee onboarding is, for example, like today is let's say 4th of November. So as you can see here, I have 4 new joiners joining today. So basically, I will need to assign the employee onboarding to every single new joiners, right? So let's take this Muhammad Shafiq as one of the example. So in the employee onboarding form here. Okay, so here, what we need to fill is that, okay, so this employee onboarding when he is joining, and then what is the task just now I define in the template, we'll also bring over to here. Okay, and then how do we track the task? So here we can click on buttons and then we can go to the task. Okay, basically, some of the task is actually already completed. Like, for example, issue laptop, this is already completed. So now most likely is the lunch time. So the HR will need to organize the lunch of this new employee to their teams. Okay, so here basically you will see, right? If let's say in order to perform this task, there is some claims which is needed, so we can even submit the expenses claim within the onboarding task as well. If there is no expenses claim, then we can leave this. Okay, and then let's say if the tasks have any details, so we can also key in here as well, and then we are able to track it. So here, as soon as it is completed, we can set the status to complete, and then what we need to do is just to complete by when. So if the task is performed by anybody, we can also choose the user like who is completed the task. Okay, so let's say the lunch is already done, so I just click save. And then if I go back to the task, it will be updated to complete. So lastly, this UI developer will need to perform kind of a database structure test after lunch, right? So here he can also, do some tracking as well. So he can enter whatever tasks, whatever stuff that he already do. We can use the task description here to track the result and feedback as well. So if let's say, the task is already completed, and then here we can actually also set it to be complete, save. So here you're able to see, all the tasks within the onboarding is completed. So if I'm going back now, 1 second, to the onboarding, I'll be able to see just now it is like pending, right? But now it's already completed. Yeah, so this is how we can automate the employee onboardings, create templates, create the task, assign each task to different persons, and then when it is complete, we are able to track, end to end when the task is completed by who, what is the issue if the task is not complete, stuff like that. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. And all these informations would be able to be customized according to the customer's needs, right?
Yeah, correct. Yes.
Excellent.
I mean, yeah. So yeah, just now we talk about the onboarding. Yeah, maybe next we move on to the training. Okay, so for the training as well, yeah, we will need to set up what is the training program. Okay, so here I can provide one example. Okay, because now we are running IT companies, right? So very often we need to up to date to the technology. So here I'm creating a database management training program to my team members. So within the training programs, so I can actually, provide informations like what is the trainer name, who is the supplier, because sometimes we might engage any third-party suppliers to provide the training. We can even create a supplier information here as well. And then, what is the cost description we can also maintain here. So setting up the program is pretty much simple. So once the program is ready, and then we need to set up the training event. Okay, so it doesn't mean that one training program, it must have multiple events. So sometimes it can be having one event, that's all. But for my scenario, these are database management program. I have a few training event because the courses may cover, the foundation of the database, and then subsequently it will move on to a more advanced level in the second week. Lastly, you will be having, the exam for the certification. So this is why I distribute the training event into multiple within one training program. Okay, so say now this program is let's say already completed, right? So since it is held on 10th of October before, so here we can also track the training result as well. So training result, once we click inside, every single employee who assigned to this training will be able to give them, some of the comment and also what is the grade, okay, which is pretty simple. So if I go back, and then we can also, see the training feedbacks. So training feedbacks, it can be created to a dedicated employee. Okay, so for example, just now my training, I have 4 employee, but the training feedback, if I have a dedicated feedback for all employee, you can also create. But if I only have feedback to only 2 of them, we can also create. So let's take an example for this employee. So here, how we track the feedback is also pretty simple. We will just need to, let's say I enter the feedback here, and then if there's any attachment or stuff like that, we can also attach the file so that at the end of the day, the head of department can also track, see the file and then look at the general feedbacks. So this is how we can, let's say automate the training, program, event, collect the result and also the feedbacks.
Can you
So
also
far,
assign
any
the
question?
feedback
Yeah.
to a superior to provide the feedback?
Yeah, can. So we can also automate, as soon as the feedback is submitted, the result is collected, we can also, let's say, do the email notifications to automatically notify the head of department or any team members. This can be done.
Right. So, wonderful sharing on the onboarding and the training modules, Calvin. So, besides
Yep.
this onboarding and training, is there any other features that it's available in this system?
Yeah, of course. I mean, pretty important for the HR and also head of department is the employee dashboard. So as you can see here at one glance, we are able to see the overview of the organization employee, whether it's by department basis, by employment types, by any of the position, branches, gender, stuff like that. So here we are not only providing the dashboard, we also provide the view in reports as well, okay, and also provide the view in the list as well. So in case if you want to drill down to any dedicated employee, what we need to do is just simply click into the employee, and then here we are able to get all the informations like when the employee is joining, any attendance on leave, salary, stuff like that. So everything will be able to track here. Even if the employee is already, let's say I resign, we can even, track when the exit interview will be, stuff like that.
Hmm. Excellent.
Okay, and then yeah, I think on top of the uh just now the employee dashboard cover the onboarding and training. I think we can also cover a bit on the leave management as well. So on the leave management, just now we mentioned a lot of company they are still practicing quite a manual way for applying the leave, right? So here our system can actually help to set up the leave in in let's say a more automated way. So means we are able to allow the company to set up a different leave type, let's say annual leave, and then now we quite often get the request like, can I work from home next Friday because of this that. So this is something we can also configure in the system. So and then what is the leave period? If there's any leave policy, any leave block list, leave allocation, stuff like that, we can also configure here. But I can just give a quick demo on the leave application. So for example, I have a different employees, they will log into the self-service portal to raise the leave request, right? And then let's say, okay, this employee, he or she raise a leave request that okay, maybe I want to work from home because he got no car to come to the office. So yeah, when I went, so depending on the head of department, if they want to approve, then they can simply approve. And then here, if they want to reject, they can also provide the reason why they want to reject as well. So if you want to approve, then we just approve. And then once approved, we can submit. Okay, so once it is submitted, right, we will send the email notification to both head of department and also the employee itself. So I think this is also pretty simple. So just now we talk about how we can handle the leave request, right? And then we can send the email notification to the employee and also HRD. So I think it's also pretty important for the HR, let's say admins, to know what is the each of everyone in terms of their leave balance. So here we also provide the overview of the leave. Let's say the leave type is annual leave, organized by different employee, and then we can see the leave balance, stuff like that. If you want to filter by a dedicated employee, we can do so as well. And then it will provide the overview. Okay, this employee, Kevin Su, what is the leave balance for each of every different leave type? So quite easy, we can get the overview here. Even the employee itself, once they log into their employee self-service portal, they can also see the same overview. And then from there, they can plan their leave. So now I already in November, however, I still having 15 days of annual leave. Maybe I should already pre-plan something for my vacation. Okay. All right. I think we have covered the leave. Okay, I think in the HR and payroll is also pretty much important if we talk about something about our payroll. Okay, so in terms of our payroll features, right? So here, yeah, we are able, to allow the company to set up their income tax slab according to different year. If there are any tax exemption category, any taxation information, taxation information for both company and employee, we can also set up here. So pretty much some of the issues that facing by our client is that they mentioned that one of the process they would like to automate is generating the EA form, because most of the time in the Q1 every years, right? So the HR will need to prepare, the EA form. So how they prepare is quite manual. Maybe they have the Excel, they need to extract. So imagine you have 20, 30 employee, you need to do it one by one. And then after you do it, you need to send emails to each of every employee, which is quite a tedious job, right? So here we have already built a EA form bug creation function. So this function will allow the HR admins to create all the EA form in an automated way with just a few click of button. So let's say if I have 50, 100 employee, with a few button clicks, we are able to generate the EA form for all the employees. Okay, so how do we see the details of each EA form? We can just click on the connection EA form. And then once we have the EA form created, normally it will be in the draft status, because we will need to manually check if there are anything wrong, or if everything is fine, then we can submit. Once it submit, means the EA form is already confirmed. So for the confirm EA forms, right, how do we preview? Is also simple. We just need to click on the print buttons. Okay, so here we provide a few templates. So if you want to look exactly on the EA form templates, you click EA form, and then EA form will be auto generated within seconds.
Wow.
So I think this is pretty straightforward.
Talking about payroll, I suppose many organizations, because they will have their own accounting software in the organization. So if the payroll and accounting software it's not in the same platform, do you think it is an issue, or this can actually be integrated?
Okay, I mean, I believe that most of the company, they will have their own accounting system, but payroll or HR will be in let's say the other system. So here maybe since they are having two system, right? So they might be disconnected or some of the data. So they won't be any serious issue, but back to the topic, eventually if you want to automate, so we want to make sure the data are able to synchronize seamlessly, right? So if the data is in two system, maybe we still need to perform some of the manual works, like for the accounting, we need to manually pump data to the accounting software, and for the HR, we need to maintain HR payroll stuff in the other system.
But there is a way to integrate and not manually pump data, right?
Yeah, correct. I mean, for our solution, actually, we are not only building HR and payroll, but we also providing the accounting software as well. So here, let's say once the payroll side, they already have the salary payout, right? It can be, creating the journal entry, the payment entry as well. So this payment entry of the salary can seamlessly integrating to the accounting modules. So here and then we from the account or finance side, they will be able to track end to end. So this is this salary payout is from when, from which bank account, stuff like that. This is something we are able to track. As
Wonderful.
as I will see here, we have a HR, payroll, and also the accounting module as well.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay, I think just now we talk about the EA form, right? So lastly, maybe I can demonstrate a bit on the salary setup. Okay, so here in terms of the salary, I think as you all know, for every company, their salary component it may be different, right? So let's say some company they have the fixed allowance that they want to put as an attribute in the payslip. Some company have this and that, overtime, bonus, stuff like that. So this different component we can configure here. And then we can also set up the salary structure, what is the income tax slab, the payroll period, stuff like that. We can also set up the salary structure as well. So yeah, I will just give a quick demo on how we can create the payroll entry. So to create payroll entry is very simple. We just need to click payroll entry. And then here, as you can see, this is all the payroll entry that I created before. But for this demo, I can create one. For example, now I'll be creating one for, let's say, the period of September. Okay, so for my company, we are practicing like the salary payout will be at the end of the month. So here I'm just select the posting date as 20th of September. Okay, so below I will just need to select like, okay, so this payroll period is for the month of September. So whoever working from the 1st to end of September will be in this payroll period. And then we can also select the payment entry, meaning this payroll will be paid out from which bank account. This is something we can set up. And then, yeah, once I have the posting date, I have the period selected, I can just click the save. Okay, so next, I will need to click the get employee. Okay, so get employee function means if let's say I have 13 employee working on a September period, our system will automatically pull out all these employee. So I don't need to manually key in, let's say one by one. Okay, so once I've checked everything is fine, then I can click to create the salary slip. Okay, so this salary slip means now the system will generate the salary slip for all these 13 employees. So as you can see here, the salary slip is generated. So normally it wouldn't be having any issue. So if you think the salary slip is fine, then we can just click the submit salary slip, and then it will automatically submit all these 13 salary slip, including the journal entry and the payment entry I mentioned to you just now. So this can be automated. Okay,
Wow.
but of course here it may take some time, like a few seconds to load. So yeah, so once the salary slip is submitted, we can go into the salary slip, and then let's say if I want to preview any of the employee slips, right, it's the same. We go inside and then we click the print buttons, and then here we have quite a different format of salary slip available. Let's say I select the standard one. So here, employee information, what is the basic salary, what is the deduction, like EPF, SOSO, EIS, stuff like that will be able to let's say automatically showing here. But of course, this template it can be customized. Can be customized according to your company format, company logo, stuff like that. It can be automated. And then also it's quite important. Sometimes we get the salary slip with the year to date. For example, now I wanted to know, okay, what is my overall income from January to now? So here I can also get the overview. So depending on the needs, the employee later, can just select which option of the print format, and then they can select. They can either convert it to the PDF format and then print it, save it locally. This is fine.
Well, I think this will help save a lot of time automating the sending of this salary slip. Like,
Correct.
from what I see just now, it only took you 30 seconds. If a company with
Yeah.
200 staffs, okay, and the HR will need to email one staff by one staff, the salary slip
Yeah.
will easily take 200-300 minutes, and you just did it in 30 seconds. So I think, wow, that saved a lot of time.
Correct. Definitely. All right. I think we can also look about the payroll dashboard as well. So if you want to track what is the outgoing salary trend from January to when, we can also see from here. I mean, just now I'm just preparing the payroll for September. But if I'm preparing for November, so this chart will also reflect accordingly as well, by department basis, by position basis. So this can be seen from the dashboard view. Yeah, I think pretty much this is what I can demo.
Thank you very much, Kelvin, for your demo just now. It looks very impressive. So, if for those who are watching the video right now, do you think it would be possible, if they are interested, for them to get a free trial from you?
Yes, definitely. So we are able to set up the free trial to them, and then of course they can play around with the system. So once they have play out the system, if they have any, let's say, a more customized needs, we can always be there to support them.
That's great. Thank you very much for your generosity, Kevin. So, for those who are listening in right now, okay, if you are interested, there's a QR code on the screen. So do scan the QR code. It will bring you to a form, fill out your particulars, and then our team will arrange for the free trial section with you. So do fill out the QR code on the screen right now. Thank you very much, Kelvin, for your sharing just now on the 3 simple steps to drive HR transformation in 2023. Thank you very much. It has been very insightful of the things that you have shared just now.
Yeah. I mean, and Darren, so thanks for having me here today.
Thank you. And for those who are listening in or watching the video right now, if you have any questions regarding HR transformation or digitalization, do feel free to type into the chat box. We would collate, and then our team would respond to any of the queries that you have. So do feel free to type into the chat box. And with that, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. And we look forward to see you again in the next round. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.